Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Connie coming on today to share with you actually the process of how I put this box together, this gift box. But I'm just going to go through a couple things real quick with you here while I have you, because I'm not going to be decorating it or anything. I'm just going to show you the base. But what I did for mine is I'm just going to basically share with you the top. I put my little metal corners on. They're just decorative. They're not actually going over the edges or anything. Matted a couple of layers, and then this top piece I put the black down straight to the top here, and then the next two pieces I have foam tape in between two layers. Excuse me, I used a die for my snowflake up on top, and my little stamp is sentiment is popped up also. Not sure where that stamp set is from. Goodness, excuse me. I was gifted to me from Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers, but I don't remember exactly who it's made by. My focal image is from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. Added some first glitter, some stickles, and then I put glossy accents over the top of the white and then of the red. Stickles, for me, they just do not stay well. They seem to dry out really bad and kind of dry up, so that helps to preserve them. For the letters on the stop sign, I did put some stickles. I just left them plain because I don't want them real prominent. And then on the ice cube, I did use some Spectrum Noir Sparkle and Clear. I just painted that on with the paintbrush. And then these dies here are from Jim Holtz, my dies, my Christmas dies greeneries that I always go to. The focal image is not popped up. I didn't think so. I couldn't remember. The snow, the little hill on the back is from a stitched hill die. I think it's from Lawn Fawn. That's cut out of glitter paper. And then I just added some twine. If you saw my original photo on Facebook, it didn't have the jingle bells. I just added them before I did the video. I forgot to do that before I took the photo, so I apologize. I knew I wanted to do that and completely forgot. Just added a little bit to the greens and stuff, because I had a struggle trying to decide. I should have used a different paper than the poinsettias on the back. I kind of wasn't sure what I was going to do. And it's for my sister, so I couldn't get it too involved. I could have really, embellished, but yeah, not going to happen. So my overall box size from the top is, keep forgetting, 6.5. This way it should be, 8 tall, and then it's 2 inches deep. You can certainly alter the size if you wish. It's just got the ribbon closure, and then I've got these gift tags I'm giving to her. So that's what's in there. But I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you how to do this. I'm not using this as actual box or anything, so I'm going to put the dimensions and stuff down. But again, if you're good at making boxes and stuff, you can alter this to any size, and I'll actually show you when we're done. Another one I'm working on with a bit of a twist that I had seen, so then I just went with this. And I want to say this is not my original idea. I saw this on YouTube, and I don't remember. I saw a couple different videos, not sure where I got the idea, so apologize, but I had requests to show you how to do this. So on my original box, I did use mixed media paper. That's like 15 inches by 11 inches, I believe it is. I can't remember. So I didn't have to do this 2 pieces. But for this one, and this works perfectly fine, I'm using 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And I'll give you the dimensions in a moment, even though I've got them. And then I've got, you have to have a 12 by 12 inch piece. Normally I would make this white, but I just am using some scraps and stuff from my stash. So the one thing I would recommend is use at least 120 pound weight cardstock. This is 120 pound. I would go with the 140 if you have it, like a cold pressed watercolor or like the mixed media, quite a bit heavier paper. So just a heads up, if you have it, it's much better. Okay, so for the box, or excuse me, not the box, let's set this piece aside. For the top, the wraparound piece, the book part, if you're using 8.5 by 11 or basically any size, you're going to have a piece of 7 by 8. That's going to be the back. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch with the 7-inch piece at the top. I have mine scored. I'll burnish it in a moment so you'll see better. And then if you're using, again, 8.5 by 11 or even 12 by 12, either one, you are going to need a piece 8 by 8.5. With the 8.5 inch piece at the top, or that length, you're going to score it at one side only at 2 inches. If you are using a piece that is 15 inches long, okay, if you have that by any chance, what you're going to need is you're going to score it at, you're not going to score over here, you're going to go 6.5 inches from one side. So I don't know if this is all in there. Let's see. Yeah, it is. I'm plenty of room. So let's say this is just one sheet of paper. So let's flip it over. It'll be easier. You don't have that marking on there. Sorry, I don't mean to confuse you. I apologize. So you'd start at your left side, measure in 6 1/2 inches. You would make a score mark. Then you would score again at 8.5 inches. So 6.5 and 8.5, only if you have an extra long piece of paper, which I know most people don't. So again, we're going to take the 7-inch by 8-inch piece, mark your score line, and when I do this, I do this about 4 times, just because I want it to be flexible and I don't know, seems to work better. And then I do it one more time. Okay. And either way you do it, I'm just going to bring mine in like this, just for ease of working with it. But I lost my train of thought. I was going to say, I am going to miter my corners just the slightest bit. It just makes the box go together a little bit nicer, I guess I'll say. I don't know better way to put it, but I just taper them just the slightest bit. Okay, set that aside. Got your 8.5 by 8 inch, again scored at 2 inches on the side. Again, gonna burnish it. This one I am not burnishing, I'm not tapering those ends. I want those to be straight, so do not taper these. This is the top of your box, or your book, so to speak. So basically what you're going to do, this piece set this with the 1/2 inch, you're just going to line those up and glue those down. And I unfortunately do not have any double-sided tape handy. I have to get some for my ATG gun. I'm just putting glue on here, so it's a little quicker when I do these videos, especially if I'm not gonna keep it. So it's easier for me to line up my score lines, and you don't want to overlap the score line. You want it just to be butt right up to each other. And how easy is that? That is your cover. Okay? At this point, I would, if you don't wrap the whole thing in ribbon, I don't have any out, you can either, let's see, I think I have some baker's twine I can make use of. One thing I did forget, I tried to have everything else handy. So let's say this is yarn, or excuse me, ribbon. You could wrap it this way, or if you want to save some, you could just put it, you know, part way in, make sure it's adhered, and then snip it off, and do the same on the other side. Snip it off, and then you could tie it that way. I'm going to lay this aside and get my twine out of the way and come in, and I'm going to do my box. 10 inches by 11 inches. You're going to score it at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Before I burnish, I like to cut the pieces. So where these black pieces, not sure where I have the hiccups today, I apologize. These black parts, my scribbles, are actually where you're going to cut and miter. And I'm having a struggle here seeing my lines, so I might be a little bit off. But on my short side, I'm just cutting up to the first score line. Do not cut that square out, okay? You just cut up. Burnish that just a little bit to get started. There. And I just cut up to the score line. If you know how to do a box, you've got this mastered. This is pretty simple. This is not required, but what I do is I do put a notch. If you're not comfortable getting your box straight, I would suggest the outside pieces, don't notch them. I don't have good luck if I don't, so I work better on the outsides from the score line down. Doesn't have to be much, it just makes it lay together better. I didn't do that very well. So hope everybody's doing well. Sorry, have been very busy, started a new position and taking a bit to get acclimated to it, so I'm sorry. I'm hoping that the next week or two things will, should I say, slow down, or I will adjust. How about that? I do, again, like to score both sides. Or, excuse me, burnish. My choice of words, my language is a little off today. I'm sorry. My vocabulary. Again, if you were doing this on your own, you would take a little more time. Make sure it's really nice and squared up and everything. I'm just trying to keep this as brief as I can. How about that? These two pieces that you don't have the flaps on, I use those as the outside, okay? Because you're going to bring these two flaps in like this and glue them. And apparently, let me look here. Oh, I scored this 1 3/4, so I'm going to be off a little bit. So we'll just pretend that I know what I'm doing. Let's blame it on the time change and the fact that I did this quite quickly this morning before I got ready to do this. I match up my two corners here. I don't worry about the top. And if you've ever done a box, you normally have to pull this flap here up. I don't know why it is. Every box I've made, I've had to do that, so just want to point that out. It's usually only on one corner too. It's weird. I don't know. I've heard other people though. I've seen them make boxes and they do that. Okay, so this side is going to be off again because I didn't score right. I apologize, but I'm like my father used to do one in the garbage a lot. You know that old saying, measure twice, cut once? We don't follow that. How about that? Okay, got my box. Put my lid back on my glue. Now, what I do, and what I did for this box here, before I put it together, I put paper on. I'm going to show you the one I'm working on. I first put paper in my base, and you don't have to do the solid matting. You can just do a printed if you wish. But I did my solid on all three sides, so top, bottom, side, and top. And then I did it all three here. I will also do printed paper. This one is going to be a little bit different, so I have not put on my ribbon yet. I would suggest putting the ribbon though on before you put the very first layer, okay? On my box, on this thing, I do three sides. I don't do the side that's going in. So this, the only difference on this one, I'm making it in easel. I just added an easel part to it, like I was making an easel card. So that's the only difference. Once you have everything matted, I glue the bottom and one long side in here. And if I had cut this right, it would be a little better. So you're going to again glue the bottom, glue one side, and you just center it on, match it up to the score line, this first score line here. And before you get it down tight and burnish it good, I would suggest doing this side. Make sure everything, you know, is measured where you're centered where you want, and that's really good. And there you have your box to decorate. So very simple. You can make it any size. This smaller one I'm working on is, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Halloween or what I'm going to use it. That was my original plan and I got behind. This is 4.5 by 6 by 2. So yeah, any size works. So there you have it. If you have any questions, please do leave a comment. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me. Have an awesome day. Take care.